It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Are you celebrating first day of school?
You know it.
Okay.
Made a cake
For yourself?
for myself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
First day of school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
You know, those little spongy heads, little sponge heads going to go in there.
Soak up all that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, how'd your kids do this morning? Were they right out of bed, ready to go?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, they drive themselves.
They drive themselves. I did get up and I just got up and got in the shower. And by that time, they were all, and I'm sure they just, I'm sure it was because they all set their own alarms and just got themselves going without any prompting.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. No.
Did you take some pictures?
So I got ready and then came out, and Kayla was already backing her car out. This is like 7:20.
Oh yeah.
Because they had to go to Starbucks first.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. And so Cameron was standing trying to get in the car, and then Leah was not quite ready, which is odd because she's usually like the first one ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I did snap a few pictures. I guess they're more action photos than anything else.
Of them like walking away to get in the car.
It's Cameron.
Nice.
Yeah. And then there's Kayla.
Ready to go in the car.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And then, let's see, did I get Leah?
Oh, perfect. She's going to love that picture.
Yeah, well, they always get so up in arms about pictures. They'll just like their mother.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like to have their pictures taken.
Yeah.
I don't care to have it either. I have an image in my head of what I look like, and the
And it never comes out that way.
Never. So,
I know how that feels.
So I don't love it. But, I just said, I was like, I'm not going to post this to social media. That's what people do.
Yeah.
And just like that, we have a fourth grader. Just like that, we have a sixth grader. But I don't do that because they get really mad at me. And so I just don't. And so people might think, oh, he doesn't love his kids, or he doesn't care to share their milestones.
Right.
And the reality is they just don't want me to do it. So
Why?
I don't. Yeah. But
Because you always do what everybody else wants, right?
well, I definitely
You don't ever
do
poke the bear and just
with my
mess
kids?
with people. Yeah.
with my kids now.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll wake up, with a pillow over my face.
It's time to go, old man.
That's right.
You had a good run.
Wait, Mom, check the status of the life insurance policy. Call Jensen.
Yeah.
We in good standing? Oh, good. Okay.
Well, I saw Leah at chapel. She was right up front.
Yeah.
She was all in.
Good.
Yeah.
Was she smiling?
Yeah. I saw her smile.
She was happy.
Yeah. She had front row.
She's about of the three still home here. She's the one who probably was looking forward to school the most.
Yeah. Oh, our crew they were jacked. They were
really?
ready. Yeah.
All ready to go.
I set my alarm. When I woke up, Beckett was already dressed and at the table.
He got himself up?
Oh, yeah.
How?
He just got up. He was ready.
He has like an internal clock.
Yeah. Because
He's like, "It's
his
4
alarm
a.m."
hadn't gone.
What's that?
His alarm didn't go off. Yeah. He was already up, dressed, ready, sitting at the table, ready for breakfast.
So he's stoked.
He's only got one tooth in the front now. So he's missing a tooth on each side.
not
So he's just got like one. And it's like dangling. It's like,
Oh, it's ready to go.
it moves when he talks. Like, it's like, let us just
He might
pluck
be
it
gone
out.
by the end of the day.
We'll see.
Maybe he was waiting for one of his buddies.
No, wait, I had to put him in like a headlock last night for Joe to pull the other one. Because I mean, truly, it was like dangling. Like, and he wouldn't let us do it. And so I was like, son, I don't care. Like, and I just like held him down, and Joe, I mean, she barely touched it and it popped right out. And he goes, oh, that was it? It's like, yes, now let us get the other one.
get the other one
and
now.
he's like, no. And Joe was like, we got one.
Yeah.
We're okay.
Yeah, pick your battles.
Yeah. We'll get the next one another day. So, yeah.
Did you see your own kids in chapel today?
I did.
Oh,
Saw
nice.
'em all.
All four?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Two of them waved to us.
Okay.
Peyton was too cool for school. She didn't wave to us.
Really?
Oh, yeah. She kept eyeing me because I kept making faces at her.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And then Delaney waved, of course. Beckett waved. And then Hudson. He was on the far other side of the gym. But
He just gave you
I waved, but
just gave you like a...
no, he didn't do that. I'm sure he's going to be like, I didn't see you. And he's going to be like, oh, okay. I'm just the one that looks like your dad waving at you. Yeah, but the girls, I went downstairs. They were already like curling their hair. And, first day of school, they got to get all fancied up.
Right.
So Hudson was the only one we had to drag out of bed. And
I imagine it's a little bit like first day of youth gathering versus the last day of youth gathering.
Yeah.
Where you're going to see the kids in about 2 weeks, and instead of their hair being curled in like,
oh yeah, they're
it's going to be like,
yeah,
whatever.
Well, even this week, like I know, like last year, like Beckett took a nap almost every day he got home.
Yeah.
And Hudson was grouchy, and we like made him go to bed early. Like they haven't been doing this all summer.
It's just different.
It's it's a mental exhaustion for the day, but yeah.
Yeah.
So they're all off.
But not for us.
What was your favorite grade?
My favorite grade?
Yeah.
Kindergarten. Because back in the day, in the olden days, in the 70s,
yeah,
in kindergarten was just half day.
Oh,
yeah,
first day.
So it's kind of like preschool, you just
every day was half day.
Every day was half day.
Oh,
yeah. I went in the morning, then I went home and I watched, what I watched with my mom, General Hospital, and maybe One Life to Live, probably. If you're wondering, if you're wondering why I am the way I am,
yeah,
it's because I watch soap operas every day with my mom.
That would make sense.
Yeah,
that explains a lot. Actually.
I know.
The funny thing is, there's 2 years that I lived with my mom, growing up, and she was a branch manager at the time at a bank, and so I would go to her office after school, and all they had in like the little waiting room was a TV with it wasn't Days. Is it Days of Our Lives?
Days of Our Lives was one. I didn't
yes,
watch
that was the one.
We were the ABC. We watched the ABC ones.
But it was always like Days of Our Lives. Yeah. And then like right after it came 18 and MASH. I'd sit there and just watch it.
They don't make shows like that anymore. Well, they don't really make shows.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they
that
do.
MASH intro, I mean, that gets in your head.
Oh, how about that last episode? Oh, Baxter, do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
He just poked his head up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the A-Team. I pity the fool. So yeah, that was what I would do. But
I also got Logan. Well, he hasn't started yet though. He's there.
Yeah. Got a college. Is he junior or sophomore?
He's a junior.
Junior, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. So we drove the arduous journey driving to Nashville.
Nashville traffic is awful.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Especially for you guys, because you guys got to get close to downtown.
Yep. Yeah,
I mean, at least it's not Vanderbilt. They're right in downtown.
They're both. They're adjacent. Those campuses.
I thought Belmont was a little bit. Is it right by Vanderbilt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Then yeah.
Like
right in the heart.
Where I stay, I could walk equidistant to Vanderbilt in Belmont.
Okay.
Just right in the middle.
All right.
But man, what a town.
Nashville's crazy.
It
is blowing up.
I haven't really heard from him, which is, I think probably an indication that he was ready to go back.
Yeah. Well, you said he was ready to go back the first week of summer.
He was ready to go back before we left. We were in the airport.
I remember that too, though. Like,
oh yeah,
the first summer from college, it's good to go home. The second summer, you're like, I kind of want to go back.
The best part is, so we would just observe. We would just observe something, and he'd say like, "See, Dad," and I was like, "What?" And he's like, "See, that's how we do it here."
Oh
yeah,
he's one of those.
Yes. Although I'll say this, we went to a jazz club Thursday night. They do jazz every other Thursday.
Cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Listen to a little scat.
No, not that. Not that kind of jazz. Just
like jazz,
it's like
flute.
Instrumental. Little jazz sax.
Oh yeah.
Look
at that.
And we're just sitting there, and I'm like, this this is pretty amazing, you know. He's like, see, he's like, you don't have that in Omaha. I'm like, well, I think we do.
I've actually been to the jazz club here.
Really?
We did a guys' night at axe throwing downtown. I forget the name of the place. And like right next to it was this jazz club.
Really?
So we get done. There's probably like 15, 20 of us. GraceHill. This was years ago for GraceHill.
Yeah.
And we were like walking back to our cars and we like passed this jazz club. And I forget who it was, but they were like, let's go in. And it's, I mean, we barely fit in it. That's how small it was. You know?
Yes.
And yeah, like they had some jazz
Really
going.
good, right?
And it was actually very good
I'm
music.
telling you.
And then there was this, I don't know if he was homeless or just mentally ill, but person that came in and started dancing, and that just, I mean, it got awesome.
That made it even better.
Oh yeah, it was a night. It was a night. We had a good time.
So we're sitting in this car. There's so many things I want to say offline. Just remind me. We're sitting in there in this little place, and I'm like looking around, I'm like, man, they could set this up better. You know, because like the musicians were down and around the corner, and it was like this really small place, and you could hear it okay, you know, but I'm just sort of like looking around, and all of a sudden he hops up like he's on fire and goes like briskly walking to the front door. And I hear this guy go, "What are you doing here?" Because like nobody, I guess, knew he was coming back or whatever. So early. And so he's hugging this guy, and he's like, "Come over and meet my dad," you know. And the guy goes, "You been working out?" So shout out to the exercise coach, by the way, because Logan's been pretty faithful.
I didn't know
all
Logan
summer
was
long.
doing that.
Yeah. Garrett totally. I mean, that kid, it was good. But anyway,
Wow, good for him.
he brings this guy over. He's like, "Hey, this is I don't know what his name, some cool name, some name I wish I had, like Orlando or something, you know, or Sebastian." Yeah.
You look like a Sebastian.
And Elijah. There's Elijah, and let's just call him Orlando.
Okay.
And we're talking to these guys, and then all of a sudden.
Is it Orlando or Orlando?
Oh, well, maybe I was.
It's an N-Y.
Maybe I wasn't pronouncing it properly. But like, there's all these guys, like, just rotating through, and he's like, "Hey, that's my buddy. Oh, my buddy's up, James. He's up there playing bass." And so, like, it was just like this really cool, cool vibe.
Okay.
And I thought, I totally get it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very young, hip, especially where they are, you know.
Oh, if you're Logan's age, Nashville is an incredible city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or my age.
Well,
Because I was like,
you could do it, huh?
check it out. Although, like, very different, you know, I'd be like, let me just check Zillow and see what's up. Very different than 2 years ago.
100%. The housing, good
Yep.
luck. Yeah.
It's twice what it is here.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And the traffic is horrible.
Horrendous, yes. But you can walk. It's walkable.
If you can afford a house down there,
Yeah, well, just make one hit. Just need one hit.
that's not even true.
One hit wonder.
We know people who have tried to make it in Nashville.
We do, not who've tried to, but people who've actually worked there. And shout out to Jensen, by the way.
Yeah.
New father, new baby.
Yeah, new baby
New
last
baby
night.
girl.
Yep.
And her name is Elena.
Yes.
Elena.
Yeah.
How beautiful. Congrats to them.
Yeah.
So anyway, kids are in school. I mean, the sun is shining. The birds are chirping.
Absolutely.
There's something in the air,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called routine
Yes.
and schedules.
Yes.
And
Although ours is brutal.
yes, it is.
We've just figured
hear
out
it.
all the practice times.
Okay, hit
And
me with
it's-
it.
Oh, no, it's just nonstop. It's just nonstop. All 4 kids in the activity at the same time. Yeah. We only have 1 practice on Monday, but all 4 practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays. No practice on Wednesdays, so that's nice.
Yeah, they figured that out.
And then,
That starts in high school.
yeah. And I don't think there's anything on Friday, so that's nice.
We have walkthrough on Fridays, like football walkthroughs.
Yeah.
So it's like a additional practice.
But yeah, my boys aren't going to do tackle football though.
Ever?
No.
Ever? Never? Well, what do they say about that?
Hudson's okay with it.
Yeah.
Hudson likes flag. He don't want to be tackled.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joe, as a nurse with all the concussion stuff, she's like, nope,
Yeah.
they can play other sports. I'm like, that's fine.
I had a few concussions, I'm sure.
Yep.
Again,
Yeah, I have.
explains a lot.
I've had my share. I mean, back when we were growing up, it was just you got your bell rung. Like
Yeah, you got your bell rung.
right.
Yeah, concussion. What's that?
No, I mean, I can name at least 3
Oh yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
That like blacked out, came to. Yeah.
All 3 of mine were that are memorable, and they are not sports related. They were just lifestyle, just lifestyle. All were due to the same kid, my buddy Kurt. Yeah,
Back in your MMA fighting days,
no,
just horsing around with him.
yeah, like separated by numbers of years too. The guy was dangerous. He's a dangerous guy.
Okay.
He's still around. Shout out to Kurt.
Yeah, watch out.
He's Catholic now.
What does that even have to do?
Well, he was Lutheran before. He grew up
Okay.
Lutheran, and then he got married and he
Kurt, the
married
concussion Catholic.
That's the concussion king of concussions, and also Catholic.
Yes. Just want to put that qualifier.
Although
out
we
there.
did at his wedding. So this is me. It's a guy who's now a Lutheran pastor, and gosh, maybe 2 now. But anyway, we were sitting next to each other during the wedding, and it got to the Lord's Prayer, and they're like, "Hey, let's force it through." Yeah, for thine is. Oh yeah, we pushed it all the way through to the end,
because Catholics cut it off. Yeah.
literally forced the priest to have to join with us.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, I digress.
Stick it to the Catholics.
No, we
Say
love
the whole Lord's
We
Prayer.
love the Catholics. Without the Catholics, there would be no Lutherans.
True.
So,
Yeah.
how about that?
How about that?
I don't have a segue. Sorry. I wasn't there Sunday.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, you were busy. What were you doing?
I was.
How was your Sunday?
I was in my yard.
What does Aaron Bressman do on a Sunday off?
on Sunday off? Right. Yeah. We were in our yard from 9 to 3. Solid.
Taking care of that tree. I saw it.
Oh yeah. Still standing.
I didn't realize that was your yard.
Yeah.
It's like way over on the edge.
It's way over
I thought that was your neighbor's.
the property.
Yeah. On the acreage.
On the west, on the southwest corner.
It's east.
No. That's. Oh yeah, it is. On the southeast. I got the south part right.
You did. You got the south right.
Well, this. Oh, forget it. Yeah, the tree fell. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. How about them storms? That
I
was
don't know.
wild.
I wasn't here for him.
So, yeah. So Beckett, ever since his little friend Cal got hit by a tornado last year.
He's still with us.
Oh yeah, no, but they took a direct hit. They had to. Yeah. I mean, they lost their house.
Yeah.
And his buddy was in it when it happened. And so he's been really scared of storms since then. And so my phone goes off. What is that, Saturday morning? My phone goes off at like 4:30 in the morning because we're put under a warning, and they're like, 80 to 9-mile winds coming. And I was like, oh boy, so I kind of was just laying there.
And by the way, just because I wasn't here, was there any, did you know this was coming the night before? Did you have any kind of indication of that?
The night before they said we were going to get some storms, but nothing. I mean, they said that there was a chance of severe and stuff like that. But it wasn't projected. And I follow the weather pretty well. Yeah. I think it kind of surprised him, the intensity of it. The 80 to 90 mile, but the lightning was just unbelievable.
Really?
Unbelievable. Well, and we took a hit right by GraceHill because, I mean, it jacked up everything at GraceHill. So, and we have it on security camera. Like the whole, I mean, it whited out all our cameras for a while.
Wow.
Like it hit that close.
So those power lines are so close.
Yeah.
Maybe that's got something to do with it.
But anyways, yeah. So I'm laying there in bed and all of a sudden the sirens go off because they ran the sirens because, that's strong enough winds that people need to be careful.
Right.
And all of a sudden the siren goes. I hear Beckett's running through the house, bust our door. I mean, just bust through our door. He's like, tornado! no. And I'm like, Beckett, we're okay. It's just wind, And he's like, the sirens, we got to go downstairs. We got to go. He grabs the dog. He's taking her down the stairs and he yells out behind him as he is running down the stairs. And he's like, somebody get my brother. And Joe's like, hon, like, we got to go downstairs. Because I'm like, we don't need to go downstairs. It's just wind, like, it's not going to be a tornado. And she's like, well, he need, like,
right.
We're doing this. We're going downstairs.
I love that line.
Yeah. Somebody get my brother.
Somebody get my brother.
Yeah.
Not Hudson.
No.
Not your son.
And don't care about, he's not going to go get him. So, yeah. So, like, we got everybody downstairs and all that. So, yeah. But, yeah. Because, GraceHill, the screens got messed up. The AC got messed up. A couple circuits in the back got messed up.
They got thrown?
Yeah. So we took a close hit. So we had to...
We were
in there Saturday.
And weird on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
It just seems like a weird time for a storm to come through.
Yeah, well,
I don't know why that
pick
is.
a different day.
Well, no. I just mean like... It just seems like weather typically is fairly calm at daybreak, but you know what I mean?
Sure, sometimes.
I don't know. You're the weather guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nobody was here.
Yeah.
Because the girls were down with Cam and the girls. Were down seeing our friend's new baby. And so...
Did anybody tell you your tree fell? Or you just came back and found it?
So when I saw... I must have seen it on social media. That's the only way I knew that there were things going down. I called Sarah and I was like, oh man, or texted her or whatever. I was like, we need to check, and she's
Friends with neighbors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
yeah,
they walked by and they're like, yeah. And at first, I thought it was worse than what it was just based on like some of the communication. I was like, oh boy. And we have a lot of trees,
Yeah.
Some south, some west, some east, some north. I don't know which ones are which, obviously.
Yeah. They're all over.
Yeah, they're all over. But it was, like if there was ever a tree to fall in a spot, that would be it.
Yeah. It's away from the house.
That's right. Yeah. That was it. So, but yeah, we did yard cleanup. Gosh, all day. It was like we finished that and we're like, yeah, not getting any younger.
No,
but you were there and you preached.
I was.
You even wrapped up a whole series.
Yeah, we wrapped up Armor of God with the sword. And so I had two avenues I could have gone. I could have talked about how we use the sword as a weapon, to kind of fight back against the lies of this world and stuff like that. But I felt like I already kind of got there when we talked about the belt of truth and, the breastplate of righteousness, that we like guard ourselves and fight against these things. And so I really wanted to talk about, because there's a preacher that I listen to that he didn't preach on this topic, but he was talking about cutting things off. Like just he used that Matthew passage about like, how serious are you of following the Lord that you actually cut off, the things like when God's talking about your hands or your feet, he likened those to sins of commission or omission. Sins of commission are things that I physically do. Sins of omission are things that I neglect to do. And both are sinful. Like there are things you should do that you don't. And there are things that you shouldn't do that you do, and he was talking about that the analogy of, cutting off your hands or your feet, if they're causing you to sin is sins of commission is how he was talking about it. But he was talking about, like, are you willing to actually cut these things off? Are you willing to stop drinking? Are you willing to stop looking at things online? Are you willing to actually put blockers on your internet if you have porn problem? Or a gambling problem? Are you willing to put blockers on it? Are you willing to, like, how serious are you about cutting sin out of your life? Or do we not excuse it and keep it around, or, try and just work harder, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, that's really where I want to go with this is talking about, cause we've had this conversation before, but like, it's good for me to listen to other sermons if the only person I ever hear preach is me, that's not healthy, you know? And so I listen to these other guys and things speak to my heart, and I'm like, man, I want to share that, you know, like I want to find a way to share that too.
Yeah.
And so that was really where I went, as I took this to talk about ourselves, that we have a sword to fight back against the, you know, and I likened it to, you know, Satan sets traps and we get ensnared. And that we have the sword to cut ourselves free, to keep going down the path that God has for us, path of righteousness. And, and it's true. I mean, we, you know, we get ensnared by all kinds of things, you know, greed and vanity and lust and anger and, you know, idolatry and, you know, like all kinds of things. And so God doesn't leave us helpless or hopeless. I hope that's something that people walk away from this series, that like, you don't have to just sit there and take body blows. Like you can fight back. Like Satan, there is victory. And I think that's the biggest thing that we tried to make that point that, that, you know, it's like America fighting against some little nation, you know, like it's not a battle.
What was the
St. Lucia is what I said. Yeah.
I was like, huh.
But I mean, the battle's already been won. Satan's already been defeated.
Yeah.
And he can't win. He can't go toe to toe against God. So the only thing he has left is to individually, one by one, try and lure the children of God away to hurt the Father. Mm-hmm. That's all he's got. And sadly, there are millions and millions of people that do it, that get lured away. Yeah. Now, all of us get tricked and trapped, and, you know, but we can fight back. And God does rescue us, and God does pull us away. And God is always trying to say, that's a lie. That's danger. That's, you know, like that's what the word tells us, is like, here's what Satan's up to. Like, it's not a mystery. If you want to know, like, what is Satan going to do? Literally, God spells it out in the Bible. He's like, this is what Satan's going to come after you with. And that's what we talked about in 1 John 2. It's lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. He's going to come after you with those three things. I want to feel a certain way. I want those certain things because they'll satisfy, or I'm entitled to this. Those are his three lies. He does it with Adam and Eve. It says that, you know, he takes the form of a serpent, and he says to Eve, you know, come, like, if you want to be, you know, wise like God, come and eat this fruit, you know. And it says, if you pay attention to Genesis chapter 3, it says that she looked and saw that it was good for eating. Mm-hmm. So like, that's pleasure. Like I want to feel this, it's going to taste good, you know. That she knew it was good for knowledge, you know, so pride, like I'm entitled to. And, you know, and then the eyes of the desire of the eyes, like she wanted it, like it was good for eating, it was pleasurable, and it was going to give her some, you know, knowledge and make her wise like God. And, you know, so same three sins that we see, temptations that we see, same three that he throws at Satan, or Jesus gets thrown by Satan when he gets tempted. Same three that you can find all throughout scriptures. David, you know, all the famous patriarchs, you can find their downfalls are all in one of those three. And it's the same three he tries with us today. Mm-hmm. And we get ensnared by him.
You know, and I find it just fascinating that how true those words are today, despite no real technological advancements, you know, back when this is being said, to any degree that we have them now, and how true those words are today, and how easily ensnared we are, because of how good we have it.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what's sad is, like, I mean, take the desires of the flesh. Like, all of us chase pleasure. I want to feel a certain way. I want to feel pleasure. I want to feel happiness. I want to feel satisfaction. Even, you know, on the negative side, I want to feel an escape. I want to feel numbness. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to, and so we chase after these feelings. Mm-hmm. I mean, and we do the same thing even in worship. You know, it was interesting. I was having a conversation with somebody recently and talking about that. It was actually in our high school group, and they were talking about, you know, like I used to like some of these churches, you know, because of the feeling, you know, like I felt this euphoria, and, you know, like, but then all of a sudden I didn't feel that every week, you know, and so it was like, well, if I'm not feeling it, then Oh, the Holy Spirit's not here.
Yeah.
Or the Holy, and it's like, no, that's not how it works. I can't chase feelings. It's okay to go to church sometimes and you just don't have that feeling. And then sometimes you do, and it's okay. Like, we don't chase feelings, but we do. We chase how we feel or how we think something will make us feel. And I mean, it's funny, like we even sports, even good things, like we chase sports, and that you can tell the people that are there because they want the glory. It's not about, I want to accomplish something. I want to, like, I like the team. You can tell the guys that are there just for their own glory. Like, I want to feel like a champion. I want to feel
like a winner.
Yeah. And so when we lose, it's, all you guys that did it, like I'm a winner, like kind of thing. Like we see this play out all throughout life, that so many people are ensnared to chasing after some sort of feeling that they think is going to bring pleasure, in the dating world and the married world and the adultery world and we see this all the time, and we still fall prey to it, even though we know it's coming.
You mentioned, fathers, husbands will chase their career and success and financial gain.
Yeah.
And that's, something that that can snare them, that can trap them. Where do you draw the line? How do you draw the line between
Providing,
being a provider, using what God has blessed you with, ability, talents, knowledge, skill, etc., and using that in a way that's not self-glorifying, or know when to take your foot off the gas? I mean, what do you say to somebody who's in front of you and they've taken it maybe too far? Mm-hmm. How do you say, hey, like, you need to pull back a little bit, and here's the line, and this is how you should consider doing it? Like, what do you as a pastor, as a counselor, what do you do?
And I've had that conversation once or twice with some guys that are like, I usually with that, it's once everything's crumbling down, it's their marriage is a mess and they have no relationship with their kids. And, they're coming to me and they're like, like, she wants to divorce me. Can you believe that? I bought her this house. I bought her this car. She shops at Lululemon every day. She gets to live this lifestyle. Can you believe she wants to leave me? And what I've said is, well, when you think of what you are providing your family, what is it? Well, I give them clothes, food. We go on these trips. I said, oh, okay. That's all stuff. What do you provide them emotionally? What do you provide them mentor-wise? Mm-hmm. What do you provide your wife emotionally? What do you provide her, spiritually? What do you provide? Like, you recognize that your call to provider, you have chosen only one mode of providing, rather than being a provider of all things. How often do you lead your family spiritually? How often do you lead your family emotionally? Like, check in with them. How are you doing? How often do you lead your children, mentor-wise? Like, hey, let's help you in school. Let's help you in sports. Let's help you in these activities. I put them in advanced leagues and I pay for them to go to, all these trips.
Because the best coaches, the best
trainers.
Right.
They're in these travel leagues and all that. It's like, yeah, but just buying them things, you're only providing money for them. And they want a relationship with you, and a relationship isn't money. And so, I've said, like, I can think of one conversation specifically because it was not too long ago. Like, I said, like, what would stop you from working less? Like, what? And he was like, well, we wouldn't be able to keep up this lifestyle. And he's like, we're struggling to make ends meet, like, I got this huge mortgage, I got this huge car and all that, and it's like, okay, so you're enslaved to the things that you've chosen to buy, like, does your family need a, 7-bedroom house when there's only 4 of you? Does your family need a lake house as well as your house? You know, does your family need these things? Well, it provides good memories, you know, and we get to go and do these things, you know, and it's like, okay, but like you could rent an Airbnb lake house for a weekend, you know, like you could and save a lot more money, and then you don't have to work as much, and then you don't, you know, like, and so, you know, I think it's one of those things that men just get a little bit lost in that provider. That, you know, we do have this kind of Leave It to Beaver 1950s style thoughts inside of our heads sometimes that like, hey, you know, I'm providing, and when I come home, you know, I expect my little family to be, you know, sitting at the table and everyone's doing homework and ready. You know, like we do sometimes fall into that pattern of like I kind of I'm doing my part, now you do your part on the home front, you know. Instead of a partnership, because that's whenever, and we've talked about this in marriages, whenever you get into competitors instead of partners, that stuff starts happening. It's like, I'm doing my side of things. Now you do the home side of things. You take care of the family. You do these things, you know, and you know, I'm providing. Now you execute, you know, and that's not what God calls us to in a marriage. He calls us to a partnership that we share responsibilities and roles. That doesn't mean your wife has to work, but it does mean that everything on the home front is not her responsibility. Sure. It's a shared responsibility. Yeah. And parenting is one of those.
Yeah, and more. I mean, it's very obvious that in today's society, most husbands and wives are working.
Sure.
So then how do you,
right?
You know, how do you do it the right way? How do you do enough? How do you acknowledge the other's contribution?
Certainly.
How can you, you know, at some point in time be like, oh, I'm not doing what I need to be doing. I got to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah. And I do think it's tough. And, I look at the families that both parents work full time, and I don't know how they do that. You know, like that's rough. You know, in our house, Joe works 2 to 3 days a week, and even that is a challenge some weeks, you know, for us, of just trying to keep all the balls in the air and everything. And luckily with my job, it can be flexible. You know, if Joe's at work, she can't get off work to go take the kids to the dentist or something like that when she's, you know, delivering chemo for patients. Yeah. And so, you know, like I'm able to step away, you know, in the middle of the day to go do something like that. And so luckily we make it work, but
especially with your schedule upcoming.
Yeah. With all the, with all the activities and stuff. Yeah. And I find my time to make my hours, you know, like I'll go in early or come in late, or, you know, come in on a Saturday and catch up on things. But
I'd say you're, I'd say you're putting your hours in.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, I think every family has to weigh out what the priority is. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel bad for the families that, you know, both of them are working. Both of them are doing 60-hour weeks. They got young kids. They pick them up from daycare. They go home, and the kids are in bed by like 7 o'clock because they're little, and they're getting like an hour or two with their kids a day. Yeah. You know, and that's the choices that they've made. Like, we want to live in this kind of a house. We want to have this kind of a lifestyle. We want to have this kind of, and so they're like, well, what am I supposed to do? Work part-time, and then we have to move to a different neighborhood, and we have to have a different lifestyle, and we have to, and it's like, well, that's the option. What are your priorities? Because they're only this age once. Yeah. They're only this age once. And too often, I have never, and I mean this sincerely, I have never met an older person with kids out of the house, so an empty nester. Mm-hmm. I've never met one that said, I spent too much time with my kids. No. I've never met one that said, I spent too much time with them. Yeah. I have only met people that go, it went by too fast. Yep. I wish I could go back. Yeah, baby that's screaming over there, I would do anything to go back to that day and be there.
And I think it, you know, like we joke on the front end about, it's great having them back in school, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's true. Most of the posts that you see about kids starting back to school is like, time, please slow down. You know, right. Because they'll show their kid who's a senior going back to school, and like
Yeah.
this is their last first day, if you will.
Yeah.
And they'll have that with their kindergarten picture, and it's like, time, please,
Yeah.
slow down.
And so I think we can make our family an idol, you know, and that, you know, we have to be at everything and they're most important and give them everything they want. But also I think we can miss a lot too, and miss a lot of important moments, and fundamental moments for our children, where they need us around, where they need less of your money and more of you. And I think you have to wrestle with that. Because the impact that a parent can make, the potential impact that a parent can make, is bigger than anybody else in their life.
Well, positive impact.
And negative.
I'm saying that
Yeah.
if you're,
But I'm saying you
you're
have
not
the
spending-
most hours and potential.
yeah, sure. Yeah. And I'm saying
Over
that
a
if you're
teacher,
not-
over a coach,
yeah,
over a...
and if you're not, somebody is.
Yeah.
Somebody's.
Oh, somebody is.
Yeah.
And too often, you know, like Joe went to the for Concordia on the open house night. They had like a screens presentation, you know, about screens and stuff, and it was by some doctors that talk about, and that was mind blowing. I took the kids to it, but then took them back, and she just stayed for that. And it was talking about all the things about screens, and you know how we just put them in front of the kids, and you know, it was talking about their brain. They studied kids' brains while they were on screens and then off screens, and just how bad it is for them. And so I mean, it's interesting that, you know, like we give our kids the screens, we send them out of our way. We have our own agendas. We have our own lives. We do our own things. And not everybody is the parent, you know, that sits down and does a tea party with their kid, you know, for 3 hours and dresses up. Not every parent is built that way, and that's okay. But your kids are a product of you. They're like you. So like, you're the best coach for them on how to live this life, because they're going to wrestle with the same things you wrestle with, and they're going to have the same strengths you have, most likely. I mean, they're like you. And so like, who better to coach them through this life of saying like, hey, like, I'll be around, like, I'll, you know, and you don't have to be at everything, but I do think you should make it a priority.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure. And maybe you can attest to this as well. I'm not sure how my dad did it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I think of my parents.
how he was like he was still there.
Like, you know? my dad, when he grew up, like, nobody was around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he grew up with opening up the cabinets and there being no food and nobody to wake them up and send them to school. And so he and my uncle would skip school, and, you know, at a young age. Like, I mean, my dad told me a story once of burning down a train car, you know, like they were just playing around in the yard, you know, and stuff like that. And so like, it was fundamental to my dad that he would not miss anything, because my dad was like an all city in Indianapolis. I mean, that's a big city. He was an all city like football player, and like his dad never came to anything, and never, you know, like his mom and all that, and dad, you know, just, I think it had a huge impact on him, and not something he really talks about much. But like, I mean, like my dad was at every practice I ever had.
Right.
He was at like, and he enjoys like, I've said this to him recently too. Just the older I get, the more I recognize what a sacrifice they made. Like, my dad worked 3 a.m. to like 3 p.m. and then Joyce would work nights, so that she would come home at like 2:30. You know, like she was at the post office and she would work in the afternoon to the evening, like till like 2:30, and they'd like literally, you know,
High five.
and I just can't imagine what, you know, they did that for years when we were little at the Grove house. And then when we moved to Aldridge, they kind of got more on the same schedule. But I mean, and they didn't make a lot, and private school was expensive.
Yeah.
Because Danielle and I went to private school for middle school, and I mean, the sacrifices they made, and dad working extra hours, and, you know, getting 2 jobs, but but they would stagger it so that someone was always there, like, and it took a toll on their marriage. And so that's what I'm saying. I think it's a balance of priorities, like what matters most.
Mm-hmm.
And and I think the same way of my own kids. It's like, okay, well, what does my family need?
Yeah.
Let me be the one that'll sacrifice. Put that on my shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make my kids sacrifice of, like, well, I don't get any time with this, or I don't get to do that, like, and I'm not talking monetarily. Like, my kids have everything they want.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. My kids have everything
More than they
need.
could possibly need.
They have more than they.
Yeah.
They have everything they need.
Oh yeah.
They don't have everything they want, and that's a good thing. But they have everything they need, and but like, I try and make sacrifices of my own time. Like, there's days that, like today, I'm gonna come home right when they get home from school and spend time with them, and then I'll work for a couple hours tonight. Like, like it's good to be there, but yeah. So the sword, I do think you have to be serious about cutting things out. I think too often there are so many people that come to church and they're like, oh yeah, I should do that. I should do that. I should do that. And what God's challenging you here is, are you actually going to do any of this? Mm-hmm. Or are you just going to listen? Because like James talks about, like, don't just be a hearer of the word, do what it says. Mm-hmm. Like, are you actually going to cut these things out? As you look at your own life and you see the ways in which Satan ensnares you, like, and I've said this quote before, but it just rings true to me all the time. It's in the TV show Scrubs, where the one doctor works out all the time and the one's trying to start working out. And he says, the truth is, like, you kind of have to hate yourself a little in order to actually, like, be in the gym and work out. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to, most often in life, you have to hit that certain point where you've disgusted yourself enough to actually make a change. Yeah. And that rock bottom is what usually motivates you. And so as you look at that, it's like, okay, in the same way, when you have these sins that you struggle with, I think so often as you justify them or say, well, everybody else has them or mine's not that bad, you're never going to change. It's when you actually look in the mirror and go, I'm done with this. And I mean, like, you're one of those. When I talked about alcohol, it wasn't alcoholism, but it was like, I'm done with this. Yeah. I don't want to live this way anymore. And I'm going to be serious about this. Mm-hmm. I did the same thing with alcohol. Mm-hmm. That I can drink, and I do drink alcohol from time to time. I don't have a problem with it, but I reached a point where it's like, I'm done with this. Like, this is not going to be my life. Mm-hmm. Because it was a part of, it was all of my life, for 2 years, and I didn't like who I was. Yeah. And I didn't like the effects it had on me, and I didn't like a lot of things about it. And I think of the same thing. Like, I mean, I hit that point with video games at one point in my life too, where coming out of seminary, I mean, when you're single in your 20s and everybody's doing it, I mean, like, I was playing 6-7 hours of video games a day. And, now if I grab the remote and, play something with the kids for an hour, like, okay. And then maybe I'll play one round of, NCAA football, play a game, here or there. But like I remember it was a Lent early on in our marriage. It was a Lent. And I said, for 40 days, I'm not going to play. Right. And I used that. And I love doing those type of things for Lent. I hate when people pick like, oh, I'm going to give up chocolate so I can lose some weight. And, like, okay, whatever. Like, the whole point of Lent is, what are the idols? What are the things that are blocking me from being the person I'm called to be? Mm-hmm. Spending more time with God, doing more of that godly role. And how do I cut those out? Let me spend 40 days cutting those things out so that my life is actually more in line with who God wants me to be. And so, every Lent I try and find something that I truly can cut out of my life and slice off, one of those hands or feet things of like, I'm sick of doing this thing.
Gouge out the eye.
And I'm going to, I'm done. Like, I want to be done with this. And in that, there's power in Jesus' name. That when you make those commitments, it's not like God goes up there and goes, oh, good luck. Like, God's like, I want that for you too. Mm-hmm. I'll strengthen you. I'll work with you. I'll help you. I'll give you opportunities. And so, yeah, like I think that's the big challenge. And I think that's where accountability is so important. Is it does you no good to cut something out if someone doesn't know. Like, you should have somebody that holds you accountable.
Yeah, the right somebodies.
Right.
Because there are going to be some somebodies who are like, oh, come on.
Right.
So you're not going to have fun anymore?
Right.
Oh, you're not going to,
right.
You're going to, yeah.
And yes, finding those right people around you that you can go to and be like, here's the me I want to be. And I'm going to make this change. Will you help me? Will you hold me accountable? I have to answer to you. Like, will you be a part of this in my life? And so, yeah, that's really where I wanted to go, because it would break my heart. And it does, because I know it happens. It would break my heart that there are people that come to GraceHill for 2-3 years and like, they haven't changed at all. They're just checking a box. Yeah. They're showing up and they're going, it's, and I've used this analogy before. It's like showing up to the gym and saying, because I went to the gym today, I can go do these things. I can eat whatever I want.
Yeah.
And saying, I went to the gym today, so I'm not going to do these things because why would I put myself right back where I was? Like, I'm going to make inroads. And church is the same way. There are people that show up to church and say, because I went to church today, I can go do these things. I don't have to change. And then there are some that come to church and go, because I went to church today, I do want to get going down this path. I'm going to make these changes. And I wish more people would join in.
Yeah.
I wish more people would say, I'm going to use this as a catalyst to make the changes that point me more towards Jesus.
And to strengthen and to enhance or I'm struggling with the word here, but I've made the change. Now keep me on that path.
Right.
Continue to strengthen
me
and
see
guide me.
The fruits of this,
Yeah, Chris Oltman's, in his testimonial he shared a couple of years ago, he talked about going to church because of, the life that he had lived the week before or what he was expecting the week coming to be. And then just a transformational change in his life, so that it was a completely different experience to strengthen him going forward. Like, I've made these life changes, I've made these habits, and now just to continue to be strong in that, for the right reasons. Yeah.
And so, that's what we ended with is, hey, you're not hopeless and you're not helpless. These sins that you struggle with, and I think some people are like me. Like, it's not 100 different sins that I struggle with. Like, there's all kinds of things that Satan can tempt me with that I'm like, no desire whatsoever.
Right.
Not even a challenge. And there are things that I used to struggle with that aren't a challenge anymore. But if I'm being honest, there are things I've struggled with my whole life. There are just these pet little sins that like Satan knows my number, knows what buttons to push, and I go, oh, that's tempting. That is tempting. Because we all have a fallen nature. We all have our weaknesses, and Satan figures out what those are. And in that, you're not helpless and you're not hopeless, and where you are ensnared. Because I think that's the biggest problem is whenever you slip, you give yourself permission to just dive in. You're like, well, I messed up once, so I'm just going to go all the way in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get yourself in that mode and you're like, gosh, I said I never wanted to be here again. I said I never would. Now I'm all in and I'm embarrassed and I'm ashamed. And sometimes we just give up and sit there. And like, God's like, you're not trapped. You literally have a sword right there on your belt. Pull it out and cut yourself free. Like, you're not trapped. And there isn't shame, and God doesn't come and go, you're trapped on that again. He goes, child, I've come to rescue you. There is no condemnation for those in Christ. Cut yourself free and follow me. And that's beautiful, because I'm embarrassed and I'm ashamed that it's the 5 millionth time that I'm going, God, he got me again. I fell for this again. Why did I fall for this lie again? And God's like, I got you. I got you. And I'll strengthen you and I'll help you. And remind yourself of my word. Remind yourself, learn this lesson, and that's a beautiful thing.
It's a very, very powerful series.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conversations I got to have coming out of it, and I think a lot of people took it to heart, and that's awesome. That they were like, cool. Like I'm gonna put this into practice, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's the desire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now we get into Romans.
I know
it's gonna be a heavy theology. Romans it's a thick book. I mean, like theologically. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's. I would say I typically maybe spend about 5 to 8 hours on a sermon. Like the reading I'm doing ahead of time on these, like, yeah, I'm putting like 15, maybe 15, 20 hours in on, cause I mean, it's thick. And so I'm like, man, I got to make sure I'm representing this right. And, as we talk about this, and Paul's crazy the way he writes too. Like he writes in riddles half the time and you're like, what does that mean? You know,
let me go back and read it again.
Yeah. Oh, I have to.
Now I took it a completely different way.
I mean, because like we're in our readings, we're reading as a staff through the New Testament in a year, and we're in 2 Corinthians right now. And like, yeah, like the end of 2 Corinthians, like you're trying to follow Paul, and you're like, what are you talking about? He's like, I will not boast, but when I boast, I'm going to boast in this, because I shall not boast, but when I boast, and so I boast in this more. And you're like, what?
I know.
What are you talking about?
It's like that fine line of
Yeah.
I was talking about earlier.
Yep. And so Romans is that way too.
That's
you
right.
got to kind of dig in deep, and so I'm going to dig in deep and put some low hanging fruit out there, because there's great stuff in there.
Yes.
So I want to simplify it a little bit so people can grab it and be like, got it.
Yes.
Got the point.
Yeah. In 22 minutes.
Yeah. So
good luck.
Romans 1. Here we go.
Yeah. At least the kids are back at school. You don't have a lot to do.
No. That's when I'm heading to the office right now.
Go
I'm going to
get it done.
Grab some Jersey mics and then start working on the sermon.
Well, looking forward to it. New series, new season, really.
Yeah.
Of our church and of school and life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and lots of new things kicking off in the next couple of weeks at church. So we'll be talking about that soon too.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Go get them.
God bless.